Please subscribe.
Overall, Prosecco deficiency sounds sensational, however it was a genuine feature a couple of years back as interest overwhelmed supply. The world, obviously, had made sense of Italian shining wine was in the same class as the French stuff at a significantly more sensible cost. I know this since I've arrived at the age when every one of my companions are on their second or third infants, and they're not hesitant to tell the world that wine is the manner by which they're managing it. Whenever one of those mothers presents herself with a glass of the bubbly stuff, it'll likely be after she's done emptying the children from another 2020 Hyundai Palisade she purchased for a similar reason as the Prosecco. While mom might have had her eye on a Mercedes-Benz GLS-Class or a Lincoln Navigator as her high-leeway minivan elective, those SUVs are well past a white-collar class spending plan. Hyundai, however, can get her sensibly close for under $50,000 completely stacked. With a striking look into front, inside structure that acquires from the best, and a highlights list up to a youngster's rucksack chain, the Palisade gives the extravagance SUV look she needs at the cost of the minivan she doesn't. Simply investigate the standard element list. All the real dynamic and latent well-being highlights are there, and Hyundai hopes to nail top appraisals from the IIHS and NHTSA. Programmed crisis braking, path keeping, a rear-view camera, back-stopping sensors, huge amounts of airbags, it's everything there. Comfort highlights, as well as versatile journey control, auto headlights and high shafts, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, just as Bluetooth telephone and sound. At that point there's the family accommodating stuff. Second push situates that overlap and slide with the push of a catch, 7 accessible USB ports that go right back to the third column, more cup holders than you'll recognize how to manage, and pockets intended to hold telephones. You can even fit a typical estimated cooler loaded with the 2 sorts of the grape juice heavy drinker and not behind the third column. Completely stacked for under $48,000, you get a completely advanced instrument group and widescreen infotainment framework that looks suspiciously like Hyundai's been duplicating Mercedes-Benz's schoolwork, an Encompass C camera framework, all-wheel drive, warmed and ventilated front seats, warmed second push skipper's seats, control collapsing and leaning back third column, 12-speaker Harman Kardon stereo, double sunroofs, warm calfskin directing wheel, remote telephone charger, 3-zone atmosphere control, and a rear end that is stature customizable, has 2 unique speeds, and can be opened by remaining inside 3 feet for 3 seconds. You likewise get highway drive assist, a Tesla autopilot-like component that enables steer, to brake, quicken, and focus you in the path, yet just on interstate turnpikes and just on the off chance that you keep your hands on the wheel. What don't you get? A minivan's worked-in vacuum cleaner and an extravagance brand's identification on the hood. What's more, to be reasonable, this value point still purchases standard quality materials, not extravagance quality. The manner in which the lodge is executed, however, is what matters. The inside support between the front seats, for instance, watches ideal out of a Lincoln Navigator yet with much more space for all your stuff. The subsequent line has a huge amount of legroom, or all the more fundamentally, kid seat space. The third column is huge enough for grown-ups, or more seasoned young people, to possess, however the raised floor puts your knees up more than you'd like. Hyundai was astute enough to include snatch handles simply behind the back ways to make it simpler to maneuver yourself into the third column. Similarly shrewd, putting USB ports in the sides of the primary column situates and up high on the dividers in the third line. Somebody at Hyundai obviously saw that standard telephone charging lines aren't that long and putting the USB ports somewhere near your knees implies they scarcely arrive at your lap. Other helpful highlights incorporate the capacity to match 2 separate telephones, one for calling and the other for gushing music, the capacity to mood killer all the back speakers so the children can rest while you remain engaged, and the capacity to transform the back speakers into a paw framework to holler at the children in the back when they wake up. Hyundai was maybe excessively sharp with one specific element on the limited trim. It's called blind view monitor, and it utilizes cameras under your side mirrors to show a video feed of your vulnerable side in the advanced instrument group at whatever point you enact the blinkers. The video is high goals, and the wide-edge focal point really demonstrates to you more than you can find in your mirrors. The issue is that it urges you to simply look down at the dash before you combine, not in your mirrors and in particular over your shoulders. Individuals as of now don't look hard enough before they move to another lane, and they're inclined to turn out to be excessively dependent on these sorts of accommodation highlights. The exact opposite thing we need to do is energize terrible conduct, and that potential exists here. Fortunately, it tends to be killed on the off chance that you discover it diverting. In case you're looking at behind you like you should, you'll value that the Palisade is entirely simple to see out of. When you go for the pass, the 291 horsepower Hyundai feels enough incredible and the 8-speed programmed reacts rapidly and easily. There are 5 driving modes, and you'll be superbly fine leaving it in comfort or smart constantly. Shrewd conveys on its guarantee, adjusting flawlessly to your driving style at the time, giving you loose cruising when you need it and more reaction when you need it. Not at all like the models we drove in Korea a year ago, there's just a single uncommon all-wheel drive mode. Hyundai jettisoned everything except for snow mode, which organization reps state will work fine for mud or sand or any place else normal 3-push family hybrid purchasers are probably going to get themselves. We put in a couple of dozen miles on well-kept-up rock streets certainly, and Hyundai's most likely right. Despite the fact that road one-sided, the tires demonstrated significantly more grasp on free surfaces than anticipated. On the off chance that you act up or commit an error, the dependability control easily and tenderly brings you once again into line. Back on asphalt, the brake-based torque vectoring framework isn't perceptible, nor is the fluctuating torque part between the front and back wheels, with up to 50% ready to go rearward. The Palisade handles pleasantly for a major hybrid, with great body control so you're never tossed around inside. The ride is a fine harmony between solace over broken asphalt and reaction in a corner. It's a simple vehicle to drive, completely estimated flawlessly in accordance with its rivals. You pick the Palisade for its strong style and amazing highlights. Why purchase an unattractive Pilot or pay thousands more for a top-trim Explorer? With the Palisade, you get the ideal mix of extravagance vehicle look, standard vehicle cost, and every one of the highlights you could need. Lift your next glass of Prosecco to that.